Hello, everyone. It's 9:52 a.m. Good morning from here, and depending on whatever time zone you're tuning in from, I wish you a good afternoon and good evening. As always, I'm excited to welcome you all to today's Forex Morning Mastery session as we gradually prepare for the second half of the week. And of course, I'm expecting some interesting development as the Wednesday's trading session unfolds, as I have a lot of recent development in the market I would love to share with you, and of course technical setups that will back this idea. And all of this includes the USOIL spot, the GBPUSD, and of course my favorite, the XAUUSD, popularly known as the gold. We've had some good moves through the course of the week, as we saw the US dollar dropped at the beginning and then gained some momentum in the last 24 hours. So we are going to be talking about what happened, what drove the sentiment in the market, and what we are going today's trading session. So if you're a fan of any of these assets, USOIL spot, GBPUSD, and of course XAUUSD, you do want to stay tuned in and be part of the discussions we are going to be having today. And before we go into the details, I would love to welcome the newcomers in the house. If you're joining us for the first time, you're highly welcome. My own name is Sheriff. Daramola. And for the next 30-40 minutes, I will be taking you on a trading journey. So we usually run the Forex Morning Week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we come together to have a deeper understanding of what is going on in the market, how market participants are thinking, and of course using that information to position ourselves for the next move. So once again, you are all welcome on board, and I will appreciate you engage in the comment section. If you have any questions, if you need some further clarifications, feel free to let me know in the comment section. So with that being said, here we will be diving right into the business. And of course, the first thing we normally do is to drive in the US dollar market dynamic. For those of you who have been with me for a while now, you know how important that is. There's no way we want to be trading the US crude oil, the pound sterling, or even the gold commodity without really having a deeper understanding of what is going on in that particular market. Now, what you see on my screen is the 4 hours time frame of the DXY, that is the US dollar index. For those of you who are not familiar with this chart, well, this is an instrument that gives us the US dollar's performance within a specific period of time frame. And of course, after capturing the character of price action since the beginning of July, we noticed that the dollar was looking like it's doing a form of recovery, and this has been supporting the bullish momentum in the last 2 months. However, recently we saw our price broke down the trend line for the first time in 2 months. We saw a breakdown here at the beginning of this month, and as you can see, price action is back into that structure. Now, the question as we head into the second half of the week is whether this move back into the structure is going to be coming in the form of a $0.70 area. Remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the week, where we have seen here that since late July, this area here had continued to show signs that it has a strong memory for buying power. We saw what happened here of last week after that poor and back above that structure. Will this structure be strong enough to hold the momentum one more time, or are we going to see price drop below that structure to incite a sell-off? Now, if we look at the fundamentals behind this, that's what drove the sentiment. Look, let's zoom into the structure quickly. Beginning of this week, we saw something like price breaking down that demand zone, dropping to as far as the $97.25 level. And this could be attributed to the fact that traders, investors, and the general market participants were cutting their dollar positions ahead of this week that is laced with a heavy whole lot of economic events. Let's look at the economic events so far this week. We have the non-farm payroll benchmark revision. We have the producer price index, another inflationary data. We have a consumer price index. We have the initial jobless claim count. And of course, on Friday, we have the consumer sentiment index. So you would agree with me, this week is laced and jam-packed with high impactful event. Now, the softer job outlook, especially from the NFP, already made the US dollar shaky and supported that decline, as you can see here. However, during yesterday's trading session, we begin to notice that price is beginning to gain some traction again. As soon as price tested the $97.25 level just right here, we begin to see some sharp